lockdown. There we were, all locked down, locked up, locked in. And, it was a wonderful opportunity to, once you got over the initial shock, you thought, well, what can I get out of this? And, reading is a passion. So I just saved up all the books I wanted to read and sat down and read them. And I think a lot of other people did as well, because book sales have gone up. I think it's a sort of renaissance of reading, really. Whatever other awful things came out of lockdown, I think reading has come out extremely well, and I think it's revived, and we just want to keep that going.
You can get paid to go solar at...
For years, we celebrate the beginning of a presidential administration here in Washington, D.C. It's the start of a bright new chapter for our country, a time for all of us to come together as one America, with one government that serves us all. And we saw that hope and optimism in our inauguration celebration. It was the culmination of thousands of people working together to create something incredible, especially in this uniquely difficult year. As a National Guard mom, I'm grateful for our service members, first responders, civil servants who have put in hours upon hours of work to make sure that our inauguration was a reflection of the pride and promise of our nation. I'm grateful for the families who supported them, and I'm grateful for everyone who calls this city home, who made us feel so welcome. Thank you for everything you've done to make this inauguration special for Joe and me, but most of all, for your fellow Americans.
Viral strains now detected in the United States. I asked Dr. Anthony Fauci where we're heading. I'm in London right now. When this strain became dominant here, bad things happen. Do you anticipate that's going to happen in the U.S.?
Now is the time for people to realize that there is a threat and what you have against the threat. One of them is to double down on some of the very simple public health measures that we talk about. The other thing is get vaccinated.
So it sounds like we are now on a path in a race against the evolution of this virus. Are we on track to win that race?
I believe that we have the capability of doing that, but I can tell you that this is going to be difficult. This is going to be tough because viruses have extraordinary capability of evading.
Do you think we need to go onto a more warlike footing? Why aren't there refrigerated trucks driving down the streets of American towns and cities, going house to house, vaccinating people?
If we had that by vaccinating...
Richard Engel, NBC News, London.
Schools nationwide, but teachers' unions are afraid it will put students, parents, and faculty at risk. The CDC also notes that some small businesses like indoor dining and gyms will have to close in airline of choice here, or sacrifice the school or sacrifice making a living. How do you see it, Megan?
Yeah, I think we actually have a video of, I saw this video of this, I wanted to show it.
You think you're some sort of martyrs because of the decisions you're making when the statistics do not lie that the vast majority of the population is not at risk from this virus. The garbage workers who pick up my freaking trash risk their lives every day more than anyone in the school system. Figure it out or get off the podium.
So I saw this morning, and I have a lot of friends who are feeling this sort of, you can hear the pain and frustration in his voice, that are really feeling like there's not a lot of hope for schools to be reopening in a lot of areas of the country. And there was actually a really heartbreaking article in the New York Times last week that came out that was talking about how Las Vegas had to open.
Chums. We've been chums for so many years, it's ridiculous.
Did it start by appearing on her show?
Yes, it did. Actually, it started just before that. And I love it.
which is usually the kiss of death. And we got together, and Carol describes it as two kids who suddenly discover that they live on the same block and fall in love, and that's it.
True, you were supposed to do a project together this year?
Yes, and we're hoping to do it next year instead.
What kind of project?
We were going to do another television show, and it just, unfortunately, our joint timing...
Comedy?
No, we were going to do one of those Carol and Julie... Remember, we did Carol and Julie at Carnegie Hall and at Lincoln Center. We were going to do a
But you sang in those.
Yes, this would have been more a retrospective. Then there's also Shrek is coming out, which...
I'm Doris, the ugly feminist, the bartender.
No.
You're writing an extra scene for me.
No,
Doris is a hit.
Well, then I'll be seeing you.
Your husband comes to the bar.
No.
And I wait on. That's right. We're on the. It's going to be a big hit.
I think so.
Anything you haven't done, you want to do?
Oh, God, lots of things, but they're all to do with those fantasies that you have, like I want to learn this language, and I'd like to learn more about botany, and I'd like to plant my garden a little more, and I'd like to write 1 million more books. And
Get back to England much?
Yes, I do. I get in about, certainly twice a year. It's not as much as I'd like.
They're so disrespectful. They're so disrespectful. They're so freaking trifling. I don't ever want to see them again. They're so Ron, you don't even know Kamala. They're not only do they Kamala, respect her. Okay?
Speak. The last generation of living witnesses is tragically passing from this world. So the task of bearing witness falls to us. That is why the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust, of which I am so proud to be patron, has this year chosen the theme, Be the Light in the Darkness. This is not a task for one time only, nor is it a task for one generation or one person. It is for all people, all generations, and all time. When we can, each in our own way, be the light that ensures the darkness can never return.